Right, guys,
Say
we're
when-
recording. We better not say anything offensive, or Craig's gonna have all the
He said
evidence.
something offensive.
Craig's going to have words. I will say though, when the first time Dennis got that bot up recording, I was in the voice chat. I was just off in my own world because Dennis said, "Oh, I'm just jumping off for a second." Oh yeah. Then suddenly that turned on, and I've got video footage on my phone of the moment that thing hit my speakers because it came in loud, and I bloody hit my phone. So there's a section where I'm doing something, and then fucking all hell breaks loose as I fucking jump, drop my pieces, hit my phone.
Lacquer paint goes flying everywhere.
Oh, he's high as heck now from that.
Yeah.
Wakes up 8 hours later on his floor.
Thought drunk history was fun. Try high history.
Have any of you guys ever accidentally dumped your bottle of Tamiya cement all over your workbench?
Yes.
And all over my model.
Ooh.
No.
Yeah, I did it all over my Corsair. It splashed right across the wing.
You know, some people actually airbrush Tamiya cement onto their model to get cast texture.
Excuse me, what?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding.
Seems like it would work.
It does work, apparently.
Seems like there's more like efficient ways to do it.
Yeah,
Not
that's what I was thinking, bro. You're gonna
Well, yeah,
risk
you
fucking
can
up your airbrush.
stipple the putty on, but I guess the idea being that it's easier. Yeah, maybe you get more control with the texture if you can just like spray the cement on. I don't know. I've never done it.
I mean,
I'd get high.
wouldn't it evaporate? Wouldn't it evaporate really fast in your airbrush?
I mean, it depends on what you are using. If you've got like the actually, that's a good point. Yeah, they must just do it directly from the bottle. Like just drop some into the airbrush and immediately spray it.
You would want to clean the hell out of your airbrush after that, though. You drop any sort of paint, lacquer or otherwise, into that, and that you're not going to have a fun time.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna AK real color your airbrush.
Don't bring that up. I still haven't forgiven AK for that.
Still have PTSD from that one.
I was just airbrushing it, and all of a sudden, this thing undergoes this chemical reaction. It's like, just see my airbrush completely gum up.
Went to my not so local hobby store the other day. I finally, shout out to Hobby Pros. I finally bought
Big boys.
another bottle of AK Real Color and a bottle of Mr. Leveling Thinner. So we're gonna see how this goes.
Tits.
Well, then it looks like we are a four-man team, at least for the
gotta
next
count
little
Craig.
bit.
We got
Craig. We got Craig in the trap. Yep.
we got Val. He said he thought he had half an hour left, but he said he's gonna come as soon as possible to go ahead and start. Do we want to wait on him, or do you want to just go ahead and get into it?
We'd have like a 40-minute cold open.
I'll ask him how long he's gonna be.
And I guess
You are listening to the Micro Machines podcast pre-show.
Guess should we attempt to
Only $5 a
name?
week on Patreon.
Yeah.
Should we actually attempt to name the tank we're talking about?
You mean the Neubaufahrzeug?
Yes, the
I said it.
Neubaufahrzeug.
The Neubaufahrzeug.
This is going to be a
Neubaufahrzeug.
recurring theme this episode.
Yes. And try saying
I think
that
each
10
time-
times fast.
Each time we need to say it, I'm just going to nominate someone else to say it.
This is
Yeah,
why we need the
Neubaufahrzeug.
soundboard.
All right, class, listen up. We're gonna have Val say the name of this stupid tank. Of course, he'd say it, right?
Yeah, he has insider knowledge.
Cheater.
Yeah, let's all move to Germany.
First live show at the Panzer Museum in Munster.
Oh my god, that would be great.
We're all recording inside the King Tiger. It's just like echoey as hell.
Hot too.
9 hours. We would have been cancelled by then. We would have walked in. They would have just gone 9.
You've seen Hogan's Heroes. I have a good grasp of German.
Panzerfaust, Fallschirmjäger, 9. That's about all I got.
Chanel.
Da Maschinengewehr. Something like
Sonderkraftfahrzeug.
sauerkraut.
Boatin.
9.
He's typing. He's been typing for like 3 minutes now. Val.
Is it
Alice.
Flammenswaffe?
Flammenwerfer.
Ganze Flammenwerfer. Val's just doing the blue balls for the century on us.
Yeah.
He's gonna send us all a German dictionary.
Oh, we need it.
We need him to record him saying the name of this tank. We're just going to use it as a drop.
Yes.
Send us money on Patreon so we can get a soundboard.
Actually, just send us one in the P.O. box. We should get one of those.
Get a cheap one off Wish.
Oh yeah, you turn it on. It's like, the Bluetooth has connected.
Yeah. I mean, I
I think
think
he's writing me a book.
we're all slowly getting better at this. 'Cause, aren't we all getting better mics?
Speak for yourself. I'm still using the gaming mic.
I've got
Oh.
my phone, so
Yes, you're using the pink waifu one, right?
Well, I'm wearing the thigh-high programming socks. I got the frilly maid dress on, and yes, I am using the cat ears headphones.
Perfect.
That is not actually true. Please do not think that of me.
Do not nuke
You may-
Ontario.
God give me strength.
I am not the average New Mexico high school student.
Damn.
Thank
to all
God.
our listeners, though, if you can draw that picture that Dennis just described, please send it in.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see the fan art. Micro
You're
Machines
just sitting there
podcast.
with your calculus book and your T55, your fucking cat ears and shit.
God, I really want to see that now.
Yeah, I do too.
There are two sides to the Micro Machines podcast.
No, not to the Micro Machines podcast.
No,
Speak
I'm
for
grouping
yourself.
you guys in on this too.
Nope,
You guys can't get
nope.
out of this.
Nope.
Fine. There are two sides to the person who is recording the Micro Machines podcast. T55 with Contact 1 and Femboy.
It's fine to me.
Well, sorry, not Femboy, Russian Army.
Being a Russian Air Force pilot.
I remember seeing that video.
You mean a sunflower seed?
Woo!
Contact Greg.
Greg is cooking with fire.
So Val messaged back. He said it's 5:30 in the morning right now. No one's awake yet. So he doesn't want to wake anyone up.
Tell him to go outside and record in the dark.
I mean, at least he's been considerate. More than most of us could say.
Yes.
Hey, at least I'm not the only one who's woken up at a stupid time to record, so hey.
I'm up at it's almost 12 a.m. here.
Jeez, it's 9:37 for me. If you guys hadn't dragged me to record at 9, I'd be happily watching like Twin Peaks right now. Breaking Bad.
Well, I'd
I would
be shooting down Jap Zeros over my virtual reality Pacific Ocean, so we're all suffering a little bit. Okay.
This is why we need you, the listeners, to send us money so we can have a live show recorded inside the tank
Yes.
over the intercom.
That
That'd
would
be
be so
crackly as
tips.
hell.
Oh yeah, but that adds to it, right? It's like ASMR.
I almost just did something right there, but I'm not going to for my own. I want to get
Do it.
killed.
Do
Nope.
not get us canceled.
Nope, I'm not. Don't worry.
Well, should we get this show on the road?
Yeah, send it.
Callum, this is your episode. Go.
Are you doing introductions?
Oh shit.
No, I'm just. It was
Look at
something we
that,
did
already
on
off
our
script.
on our Lost episode.
Well, in the podcast today, then, currently, who's going to be hosting this, whatever you want to call this episode, you've got me, Callum, the only one who's down in the southern hemisphere.
I'm Ezra, and I'm recording from a dinky little closet in New Mexico.
And Dennis,
Name.
damn it. You first.
Smooth.
Thanks. Name's Greg. recording in my garage in SoCal, putting leaves on a tree.
I am Dennis. I'm recording from my office in Ontario, and I am currently cuddling a Type 16. All right.
Well then, that's all the introductions. So I think I should probably introduce our main topic for today. So this is
Neubaufahrzeug.
Neubaufahrzeug.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
try it.
Neubaufahrzeug.
Neubaufahrzeug. Yeah, I don't know. I've still got
Ezra,
paint
turn
stains
that
on
into
my
a
throat.
drop.
Yeah, and insert German word here.
Yeah. You could also just call it the MBF said.
Something like that, yeah. But basically, this is Germany's attempt at a land battleship. So how in the 30s and whatnot, they're still figuring out what a tank was, and the main concept was a land battleship where you had multiple turrets. Of course, this would prove to be just no point really.
No.
But they'll learn their lesson. They learnt their lesson around the 40s or so. So in the 30s, they were just having fun, seeing how many turrets they could fit onto something and get it moving. And this is the Germans' attempt at it.
It's kind of like the what was it, the M2's idea of shoving as many machine guns as they could into it.
Oh, yeah.
8 M1919s.
Yeah, we've just got like 2 M1919s hanging off the side of the turret. Like, you can't even operate them, they're just there.
Yeah, in a dual mount.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, it looks good. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
Scare them off.
that's all that matters.
I think
Okay.
looking good is going to be a recurrent theme of this topic.
True. I mean, this thing
Yes.
does look quite good.
It's definitely an impressive look.
I know the
So-
thing is massive, but if you didn't have those guys standing right there, that thing would look kind of small.
It's a good point, honestly.
Baby Tonk.
So to talk about this, we should probably talk about the prototype.
Yes.
So this being in the late 20s, early 30s, and Germany was trying to recover after the First World War. Because of the conditions of the Treaty of Versailles, they weren't allowed to build their military much. But they were very interested in tanks. So the Germans had a lot of prototypes and projects, but they weren't called military tanks or anything specifically. Hence the name Neubaufahrzeug translates to a new construction vehicle. Well, the prototype was the Grostraktor, which basically means farming tractor, something like that. It was just secret code names. So you'll find all the early German prototypes didn't have proper names because they were all in
Sneaky.
disguise, basically.
Oh, it's just
Bunch of
it's a
liars.
farming tractor with the 75 mil.
Yeah, everybody's going to believe that this right here, especially with the hull-mounted MG, is an agricultural vehicle.
It's to keep
Why wouldn't you?
what big
Rabbit hunting.
animals does Germany have?
Well, the 75 is for hunting deer.
Right?
The MG is for hunting rabbits because those little buggers are fast. Don't worry about these guys' uniforms. It's just so that they can hide from the deer. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, they're hunting at night, so they need
Yeah,
black camo.
Exactly.
Do you like this dazzle
Right.
pattern on the picture on the left?
Yeah, that is pretty good camo they've got there.
It's almost Swedish looking.
True. Yeah.
Maybe it's in Sweden.
Deer's gonna see you
Yeah,
sneak up in
so-
that.
Everyone.
So if we go to the next slide, we'll just have a chat about it. So here, so if you're watching the slides, you can see this is the general prototype they had for the Grostraktor. So you got the 75 on top. Then at the very back, behind the engine, it seems like you've got an MG turret.
Perfectly placed.
That's a big MG. I just realized. I don't know if that's an accurate drawing, but if so, the water cooling on that thing is insane.
That's probably like a Maxim.
It must be.
It'll be, I'd say it's definitely something like that, eh? So the idea behind these vehicles, this is when Hitler was starting to get into power and be a bit of a dick, and Germany was trying to rebuild. This was basically they needed a new tank, and it was also for propaganda, as was everything during that time. It was all the biggest tanks were big propaganda machines, basically. So this was rushed because of that. They wanted it done by the time they wanted it finished by the time Hitler came in power, and he can say, "Yep, we're rebuilding, and this is what we've got," just to show off to the to everyone else, basically. So you can see it's the multi-turret design land battleship sort of concept. So there was about six contracts for this went out to various companies. You've got MAN, Rheinmetall Borsig, Daimler-Benz, Krupp, and was given the name Grostraktor to just so the rest of the European countries didn't quite catch on to what they were doing at the time. It was still very much hush hush, you know.
Yeah.
So it's essentially the skunk works of German AFV development.
You know nothing, you see nothing, you hear nothing.
I wonder if they, when they were producing like these designs, if they compartmentalized the design staff, where you basically have, say, this office only works on an engine, this office only works on tracks, right? And then people never actually like see the whole thing. I wonder if
That's
that's
how
like,
they were. That's how they were shipped because these were built. These were built and then they were sent to Russia to the USSR for testing. But they were shipped in big containers, but it was completely dismantled.
oh,
And
okay.
it was all labeled agriculture, new tractors, stuff like that. That's how they slipped it past everyone.
Imagine you're some farmer in the Soviet Union and you open up this train car to get your new tractor, and it's that.
It's a 75 millimeter gun.
Wait a second.
I'd be happy with that.
I wonder, so like that little MG turret in the back, I think he's totally cut off from the rest of the crew. Or is there like a little tunnel?
Well, I mean, if you look at the top of it, it almost looks like there could be a hatch. You see these two
Sure.
little
Yeah, I bet there's a
outcroppings.
hatch.
I think the tail gunner is completely cut off.
Yeah, I reckon they might be.
Man, that would be a sucky job.
Get fucked.
At least you'd be like facing away from the incoming shells.
I do suppose that is the truth, yeah. Oh, question for you, Callum.
Yo.
You see these structures on the side of the turret?
Yep.
Are those lifting hooks? Because these look a lot like the lifting hooks on the Char B1.
Not sure. I have a feeling they might be where the gun hinges for
Oh, fair
elevation.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are the it's the covers for the hinges, I think. But so there were only two prototypes of this vehicle. Daimler-Benz and Rheinmetall Borsig. They're the only ones that showed up. So they were both tested around 1929. The Borsig was modified and then retrialed in 1931. Once the trials went through, they were found to have, especially the Daimler-Benz one, was found to have transmission problems, which is kind of a reoccurring theme with the Germans.
Imagine my shock.
The Germans with transmission problems? Who would have thought?
No way.
The
And
idea.
many road wheels.
Russian propaganda.
So these four prototypes were given to the First Panzer Division in 1935 to participate in maneuvers, see how well they go. These prototypes didn't really go anywhere else after that. They mainly ended up as monuments outside of training camps, as we saw in the first side, or or they were used as gunnery targets, which is a bit of a shame, really. You know, would have been nice to have a couple of these still around.
So literally
I'd
none
love to have
exist.
seen it running one of these.
I haven't managed to find anything
Damn.
Probably not,
about
to be
them.
honest.
Although if someone does have information, please send it in because I want to know.
Go
Yeah.
steal it. Or store it.
Okay, so if we go, so that's the Grostraktor. So now we're on to the actual. I'm going to get Ezra to say it.
Oh, Neubaufahrzeug.
So now we get to the actual vehicles. So after the Grostraktor, there were 2 new prototypes. One of them being from Rheinmetall Borsig again, and the other company that submitted theirs was Krupp. So the Rheinmetall Borsig one was known as the Model A, as it came earlier, and the Krupp ones were Model B, or Type B, whatever you want to call it. The only real difference between these two was the turret, because as you'll see later, the Armament, the Krupp ones had the 2 guns in tandem horizontally. The Borsig ones had them vertically, which makes it look pretty ugly, to be
Did you
honest.
say Krupp or crap?
What was the idea?
But
What was the
Either way.
idea
sorry,
of stacking
is
the
my
guns
Kiwi
vertically?
accent getting in the way?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. What was the idea though of like stacking the guns vertically in the turret as opposed to horizontally?
Shotgun effect. Style.
Having room.
Yeah, fair enough.
Didn't when they first started making the Lee try to do that? They tried to put the gun in sideways, save room, and then they ended up not doing it because of how inefficient it was.
I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah.
I think I read that somewhere.
So there were 5 prototype vehicles that were built. 2 of them being the Borsig, 3 being the Krupp. And that's Krupp, not crap.
Same
Ezra.
thing.
Hey, don't mock the Kiwi accent. So basically, they went through trials, but eventually, after the trials, they were cancelled in favour of the Panzer IV projects.
Just like us.
Yep.
Say that.
So the main reason for this is they were quite large and very slow. Their engines weren't really powerful enough to get them up to any sort of decent speed. They're definitely the slow, heavy tanks that, like say, Britain would have with their infantry tanks. However, this is early war. Heinz Guderian didn't want slow, big moving targets. He wanted fast, mobile tanks and just blitzkrieg. That was the reason for blitzkrieg, was go in hard and fast before they could react. Well, these tanks just really didn't suit that sort of tactic.
Sounds a lot like the
I mean,
Sharpie
you look
one.
at them. How do these things even turn? Like they're so much longer than they are wide.
How did a Mark V turn?
You
I
definitely
mean, Mark
have
IV.
problems. I think the Mark IV purely did break, and I think this did the same. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things where you don't want a tank that's too long, sort of like the T-35. The longer a tank is, the more difficult it is for turning, maneuverability, stuff like that. Whereas, nowadays it's all, well, Greg can let us know later on just how maneuverable current Armour is. He's been with them. He wishes he was in one, but
100%, yeah.
but yeah. So basically, it was all brake steering, which would have been tiring as fuck on something this long.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So basically, these were mainly used for propaganda, same as the Grostraktor. However, when was it? 1940. 3 of the prototypes, the B type or Krupp, they were sent to Oslo in Norway and they basically just participated in local operations. They were quite, especially for like the Norwegian, seeing something like that rolling in front of you, but they didn't really have anything that could counter it. So, it was a good.
Blankets. Throw blankets over the viewport.
That's a good point. Yeah. They're probably tall as well, so like doubt their forward vision would be good.
Well, at least they should have decent rear vision, with that MG in the back.
Mhm.
I mean, if nothing else, I would have imagined, like, internal communication problems aside, having the extra turrets should give it a bit more situational awareness.
Take them out first.
What was the turn radius on that rear turret?
That's a good question.
Not sure. There wasn't, when it comes to that sort of specifics, it's difficult as hell to try and find anything about it.
But definitely
Purely
not
because there were,
360.
yeah,
Yeah,
purely because
100%.
there were prototypes. There's not a lot known about them. I mean, even their history their contribution to the war is quite unknown because
Now that makes
Yep.
sense.
Yeah, it's overshadowed by, all of the big and sexy cats.
Wasp.
yeah. So the Krupp ones, they were posted to Norway, then they were sent to a fortress in 1941, and then by 1945 they were captured, and unfortunately they were all scrapped. None of them were kept.
Ooh.
The other two prototypes, the Borsig, I still didn't change that bloody mistake I wrote in the slide. But I've written down the two Krupp ones. It's the Borsig ones. They're even sketchier on what happened to them. Reports seem to say they might have gone to Ukraine and Romania. It's kind of unclear at the moment as to
So-
what actually happened to them.
So you're saying there is a chance, a small one, that there might be one of these Neubaufahrzeug in Ukraine still.
Popping T-72 children right now.
Yeah, I'd sure hate to be a
imagine?
T-72 crewman and see one of these rolling at me.
Jeez, you're like, if you're in a T90, you feel like, yeah, I'm in the best main battle tank that we have in the field. Then all of a sudden you see one of these things just brake turning around a corner. It takes 5 minutes for it to turn. It's just lobbing smoke at you.
Oh yeah, we need to cover that.
Well, there was one prototype. We'll go to the next slide. Okay, so we're talking about the power plants. Then remind me about the 105. So there was only one of these tanks. One of the Type A's, the Borsig ones, had the 290 horsepower BMW V8 engine. There was only one that had this. The other four had the 300 horsepower Maybach HL 180 TR. Now, transmission on the tank was with a crash gearbox with 5 speeds forward and no reverse gear. Couldn't go backwards, only forward.
Not one step back.
I mean, if you're
Which then kind of puts
blitzkrieging,
the whole thing of
you don't need to go backwards.
yeah. But if you can't go backwards, what's the point in the rear turret?
I was going to say, well, hold on. Wouldn't that make recovering these things a daily task?
Good point.
Although I guess they're slow enough that you can predict where you're going pretty easily.
That's
Yeah.
true.
But you imagine that you hit a barrier that you didn't see until you're on it, and then it's like, well, we can't reverse out of this.
Just keep going.
Yeah. So you can see here the difference between the two turrets, which is the main difference between the two vehicles. You got the Type A, where you can see the 37mm is on top of the 75. The Type B, it's got them horizontally, and then you can see like minor changes to the turret, but otherwise that's about it, really. That's the only difference, and maybe some side hatches.
Interesting.
This is hearsay, but this actually doesn't look like it would be too bad of a tank necessarily, just on paper.
On paper, but as we'll get on, you'll probably start seeing faults in the design. Like one of them being not being able to reverse. I mean,
That's a feature, not a fault.
I see no flaws here.
okay, so next slide, please. So this one's showcasing the Type B, but so the armament. So the main armament for these tanks was a 37mm L45 and a 75mm L24, both anti-tank cannons in the turret. They both sat side by side, the Type A having them one on top of each other, Type B side horizontally. Also in the turret there was a coax MG34. Now, the main idea, and this is, again, early war stuff, trying to figure out tanks, guns, all of that. So the main idea of having a 37 and a 75 was that the 37 was the anti-tank. It was the lower caliber but higher velocity armor-piercing round. The 75 was basically anti-infantry, purely carried smoke, high explosives, stuff like that. that was kind of the early war thinking.
Interesting.
Yeah. There was an idea to fit, instead of the 75 and whatnot, to fit a 105 into the turret, but that would only be purely infantry support and it would fire smoke rounds.
Enter the noble.
No HE, no nothing.
Enter the Neubaufahrzeug Jumbo.
Oh my god.
I'd love to see that.
Well, you know, with the SHRB-1, which is one of our previous episodes, the Germans mounted a 105mm gun on that. The thing is so big in relation to the tank that they had to just take the turret clean off, and the thing is like almost the entire height of the SHRB-1
Jeez.
hull. So like, I don't know how they would fit that on this thing. I'd like to see a render of that.
I mean,
That'd be pretty
have you
cool.
seen the Panzer I Bison? Literally just shove that howitzer
Oh yeah.
on top of that little dinky Panzer IV Aus B chassis.
Must have really messed with the suspension over
Yeah.
time.
Oh, I've seen a video of one of those firing at a house, and the recoil off that thing, the whole thing jumps up. Everyone sitting on it just gets thrown around. So this tank's also unique. It's got two machine gun turrets, one in the front right, and one back left. Both of these housed MG34s, and these were basically modified Panzer I turrets that they stuck onto it. That's showing how big this tank actually was when it's got two Panzer I turrets.
I mean, the Panzer I wasn't small. It wasn't big, but it wasn't tiny either.
No, like the Panzer I could fit what, two machine guns in it. They've just switched it to just one.
Yeah.
So that's quite it's quite a roomy turret. Can anyone tell me why, just a little off track, anyone tell me why the Germans used the MG34 for armor instead of the 42?
Pulling out the barrel.
Oh, I know this one. Changing the barrel. Yeah.
Yeah. So if anyone, for all listeners and viewers who don't know, so to change the barrel of an MG42, it pops out the side. So you pull the back of the barrel off to the side, you slide the barrel out forward, push it back in. However, in a tank, something like a
Find
tank,
spaces.
you don't have the space to do that. Yeah, because it's in a ball mount, so you can't quite, you can't do that. An MG34, you just take the receiver, flip it over, and pull the barrel straight back, put a new one in. Makes things a lot more compact and just streamlined.
Also, there is an argument to be made that it was just overall of higher quality. Like, it was more complex in terms of its manufacture, yes, but it also seemed to be just like a little bit, higher grade than the MG42.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
You also got to think about all the ammo the 42 takes to actually use compared to the 34, and having to keep not only the main gun ammo, but also the machine gun ammo for the coax in
Good
that
point.
tank.
Oh, yeah. 42 would have ripped through it all in about 5 seconds.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Interestingly, the 34 had a variable fire rate. I think it was the aircraft ones. Actually, you could adjust the full auto fire
Isn't
rate
the
on
aircraft one the MG15?
it. I'm not sure, to be honest. I forgot everything I knew about aircraft.
I think it's that's the MG15 was still an infantry based. MG18 was the aircraft one. I'm probably wrong on that one though.
Yeah, you thought we were going to talk about tanks? No way, man.
Surprise.
Okay, yeah. The
if we go-
MG15 was designed specifically as a defensive gun for combat aircraft.
Yep, I got it wrong. Okay, next slide, please. So, heavy tank. The armor on this was between 13 and 20 millimeters
Ah,
at its
damn.
max. Yeah, it's not much. The best it could stop would be light anti-tank guns, shrapnel, small arms fire. That was about it. Although this was, again, designed in the 30s, there wasn't really much bigger than that.
I mean, Nature's
though.
most perfect form of weaponry. A Russian with a machine gun could probably take this thing out.
Well, I mean, stuff like this is what the boys' anti-tank rifle was made for.
Yeah, the
You
Lottie and
said
stuff like
how
that.
thick was the armor?
13 to 20 millimeters.
Good joke.
Hang on, he's American. I need to convert this.
The modern day Striker has less armor than.
Well, the Striker's not a heavy tank, is it?
I was going to
No.
say, I mean, the Striker is essentially a bus. This is meant to be a frontline battle tank.
That is true. That is true.
Although, frankly, I'd rather be in the Striker than this.
Yeah.
At least you can see where you're going.
You can reverse.
Yeah.
Sure, wheeled vehicles, so you're probably fast
And I mean,
as fuck.
yeah. And I mean, to be honest, like, even doesn't matter really what the tank. A single infantryman can disable a tank. I mean, if you guys listen to the Lions Led by Donkeys podcast about the bloody Russian berserker Axemen. Have you listened to that episode?
I've heard
Haven't
it.
yet, no.
Not.
One of the stories is a Russian cook who disables a tank and captures the crew using only a bloody wood axe.
That's awesome.
He's just bonking on the hatches like, open up, blad.
That's pretty much what he did, and he destroyed all the optics, all the vision ports and whatnot.
Oh, that's
and then
awesome.
And then he made it sound like there were more of them around.
Didn't he then like kill the crew? I can imagine him taking prisoners.
He captured them. They were captured.
There's
But
a happy ending here.
yeah, but he did have a choice as well, because the Germans actually climbed out of their tank and started walking around, and he was the only one in the camp. And he looked around, and he had either his rifle or a wood axe, and he went for the axe.
What a silly goose.
How Russian.
Yeah, the
Okay, so
tank
we'll go to the
crewman's
next slide.
taking pops at him with his PO8 Luger while he's just hacking the guy to shreds with his axe.
Okay, so on this tank, the suspension system, it was basically a modified coil or leaf spring with a sort of Christie suspension. It was Christie type torsion bars. So these were on bogies. There were about five sets of bogies per side. However, on the front you had a single independent pair of road wheels, sort of like the A1E1 independent and the Soviets T28. Kind of similar. You can see sort of like the same sort of thinking.
Okay.
And then also this had side skirts to allow with mud chutes. That was just to allow mud to pass through without destroying any of the systems
Like the
inside
Matilda one.
Do you know how easy those side skirts were to get off so they could do repairs?
it. My guess is they probably didn't take them off regularly. So these side skirts had two doors in them, so you could get access into the suspension system.
Gotcha.
The Sharpie one have
Do we
doors
have
as well?
one?
It did, yes.
Yes.
On the
Yeah, that one
right
had.
side, it had one big door, and that went right into the fighting compartment.
I think the Churchill also had that. They had the big round doors to the side.
Yep, that's right. The Ram tank also had side doors.
Yes.
Did it?
Oh, yes, it did. It had one on each side.
The Ram 1 had the doors. I think the Ram 2 was all cast. I think.
Google time.
You Canadians should know this.
Yeah,
by
so
heart.
yeah. The Ram 1.
No, Ezra,
Ram
the
1.
Ram, all the Rams
Did they
had it.
weld it over on like the Ram 2s?
No, I mean, I've got a model kit of the Ram with the 6-pounder, which I'm pretty sure is his Ram 2, and that one has the doors.
I'm looking at some pictures with them welded over.
They probably did weld them over in the field, but when they were made, I'm 99% sure they did
Gotcha.
have the doors. Because they were based directly off the M3 Lee, and the M3 Lee also had, well, some of them had cast hulls, and they still had the doors.
I really want to model a Ram Kangaroo.
Yeah, well, you could use a Bronco. Oh crap, we're on a tangent.
Back on topic.
Yeah.
Okay, back on topic. So next slide. Haha, tricked you. There's nothing left.
Oh
So we're
man,
just showing off some historical photos of the. I'm gonna go with Dennis. You say it this time.
the Neubaufahrzeug.
So just so they've got one photo here that's sitting right in front of the French.
Oh, the Chanilet, the
That's the one.
artillery tractor.
Yeah, isn't it based on the Cardin Lloyd, or is it a completely new design? I think
I
this is.
believe it has like
Yeah,
design
weren't
inspiration
all
from the Cardin Lloyd, but at the same time, I do believe it is still an
Think-
independent
weren't
design.
all
Yeah, I think
tankettes
the
like
suspension is the same.
aren't they slightly based off the Cartaloid?
Yeah, really, all of them can trace some sort of design
Yeah.
thinking to the
The
Cardin Lloyd.
TKS
Definitely
TKS
this one.
suspension is pretty similar.
Yeah, I think the Italian tankette. Can't remember the one. Can't remember what it's called. But
TV-33.
that's the one. Yeah, I think that had very similar as well. And then, so I think if we go into the next slides, it should show. Yep, and it shows
Models.
the models.
Beautiful.
So you can get both types, the A and the B, both done by Trumpeter. I mean, who else? Trumpeter like to do the weird stuff.
At the end of the day, we would all like to see a Tamiya version of this, but I guess we'll have to settle for it.
Yeah, so I think amusing hobbies, and there's one more that do it, but it'll, and then Voyager do photo etch for them as well.
Those brass barrels are looking nice.
They are.
Yeah. And then there's also, then we've also got a 3D printed 72nd scale one.
That's pretty big for 3D printing, honestly.
Yeah, I think it was a 3D print kit set.
Right.
Yeah, you would have to do that one all in sections, but yeah,
Ezra, you're going to have to
Oh,
add a
hell
lot of
yeah.
rivets to that one.
we know it's your favorite. But yeah, so that is the Neubaufahrzeug. Guaranteed no one
Oh.
actually learnt anything from that, but who cares?
Hank Long, 2-gun, rivet.
We just had a fun time
wow.
saying the name.
Lonely in the back.
Yeah. I think we all learned something, and that is the German language is beautiful, and it is
And
mysterious.
sneaky.
Intimidating.
Well, we have a segment on this podcast called A Hill to Die On, where someone comes on and defends a take that hopefully no one else agrees with, but I think we all end up agreeing with it at the end anyways. And this week, it is Callum's turn. What you got for us, Callum?
And so my hill to die on this time is model based, and it is interwar and early armor subjects are more interesting to build than modern subjects. My take is variety of designs. You've got more rivets. You know, you got rivets to decal, so you got more like sort of surface details. You know, you got variety in them, and I think they just look way cooler. You know.
Pass. I'm a sucker for ERA, and that Challenger 2 looks extremely hot.
I will say this. One thing about like these earlier designs is that you see them getting dirty in a lot more ways than you see modern tanks usually. Like the Challenger 2, you can't really do chipping or anything like that,
True.
or rust or anything like that, because they never get that dirty. But something like the Independent, you might be able to get away with that, especially since you can make a what
Point.
if of that.
Yeah, and it's like there's always like oil streaks and stuff like that. You'd look at historical World War II and earlier photos, and you just got grime everywhere, and although not too much rust.
No,
That's another hill. Over rusting a tank is just no, don't do that. But
you know what?
yeah, but
Kark paint, as we see on all the modern NATO tanks, was a mistake because it doesn't chip easily
So
enough.
inconsiderate for all us modelers.
No, right?
We
I
should
mean,
address
come on.
NATO about this issue.
You gotta start painting your
Yeah,
tanks in
cheap
acrylic paint,
Saudi.
preferably from Apple Barn.
No, just ask them just to chip it for us on
Your
the tank.
sponges.
Someone's
Just
just
put in
going
their
out
own
there with a
chips.
chisel.
Just get someone going. No, they just get a massive sponge, and someone's just sponge chipping the entire tank.
Can you imagine?
You're the new guy to the unit, and they're like, "Hey, we need you to do something for us." They're like, "What?" And there are a bunch of dudes who make plastic versions of these, and they're complaining that they're not messed up enough. So guess what you're gonna do? I think I'd want to SI or something, dude. That's oh my god.
Yo, it does make me wonder. Do you think if they did almost something like weathering, like if they did chipping and paint distressing and all that before heading out into the field, would it make it better for concealment?
Dole
Well,
down
you,
the stupid paint.
I mean,
you could probably conceal it as like a bombed out one or something. You know, one that's just been sitting there for a while.
Yes, we've
Inactive.
thrown the track of this tank, we've blown half the side off of it, and it's leaking oil everywhere. However, that will lull the enemy as they drive by us into a false sense of security.
kill them Fury style.
That's the new NATO doctrine. Just detrack all the tanks.
Wait for an SS battalion to walk by you.
But yeah, so that is my hill to die on. The earlier stuff, I'm also biased just because I like the interwar stuff a lot more. But I think they're just a bit more interesting than modern subjects. I think definitely. I think that if the listeners want to weigh in on this one as well,
Yeah,
we'd like
please
to
leave
hear
a
what everyone
comment.
else say, what they think. Hey,
Yeah, leave a comment and tell us what you think.
tell
And
me if I'm wrong or if I'm wrong.
We'll say the one crappy thing about interwar stuff is that there are very few model kits of it. Like the Challenger 2, there's a number of really good, decent model kits of it and of different types. I can't think of one independent model kit. Can you?
No, that's the downside. Model companies play it too safe sometimes. It's like, no, you got to find the old stuff, that interwar stuff. You can only have so many new companies coming out with their version of a Panzer IV or Tiger.
Dude, honestly.
And I just called out about 3 companies right there and then.
Order.
Oh, that was the segment.
Cool. Now it's time to talk about what we've been working on this past week and a little bit.
Yeah, because aren't these slides up from
Yes.
last week?
Sounds good.
We
We
don't
can
there's
talk
some
about
new
a
ones.
cursed episode.
We don't talk about last week. No. So this is my work in progress. So I'm building the Academy 32nd scale Sopwith Camel F1. So at the moment I've just been working on small little bits because I'm filming this one as well. So I've just been getting a bit more experience with oil paint, wood grains. It's a really good subject for this one actually. I've also
I really like how you've done that that
Yeah, that
propeller right
propeller
there.
looks wooden.
Yeah, that one actually took me 3 goes to do that. And that's purely fuck up on my end. I didn't let the oil dry long enough before airbrushing varnish onto it. And what it did was the varnish dried and then cracked and basically flaked off with the
Oh.
oil paint attached to it.
That's
That's
fun.
unfortunate.
Yeah, and it wasn't until the 3rd time that I decided I'm not going to bloody try and varnish this too early. Yeah. It's my curse as being a modeler with like ADHD pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Don't have,
basically all of us.
yeah, I just don't have the patience. So that was completed last week. Then this week, if you go to the next slide.
Ooh, wheels.
Shiny.
Love
I've
those
complete-
wheels, dude.
So I've completed. I totally forgot to add in the new pics. Oh well. So I've completed the landing gear now. So all that mud effect is
Nice.
pigments. Sort
That's
of
looking
like
good.
a pigment wash. Yeah. So the way I do that is just put pigment mixed with water to make a sort of slurry. Then you just slap it over everything, coat the entire thing, and then let it dry. And then I just grab a cloth or something, and then just start handling it around, just brushing off all flat surfaces and stuff. And that just leaves it all in crevices and places where it'll build up where you
Right.
wouldn't try and clean or anything like that.
It looks very realistic,
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Oh, thanks. And then just before the podcast, I finished the engine engine cowling. So the engine section's all put together. So that's actually in the work in progress Discord, but
In our Discord
yeah.
to see these cool
forgot
pics.
to put them on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll link
Link in the
the
description.
Discord. Yeah.
What's the main
Good for
body
more people.
gonna be colored?
So that's gonna be olive drab. Yeah. So the main colors are red wood panel and olive drab. So the
Beautiful.
front of it is bright red. But
That's gonna look nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna tone it down a bit and make it look like it's been used a bit, because especially trying to do oil effects, because this is a rotary engine, so it doesn't. So all the exhaust and stuff come out the bottom as the engine, because the entire engine rotates as well as the propeller. So all the exhaust gets spat out the bottom, and it doesn't really have an exhaust port. It's just got a piece of open bit underneath the aircraft, and that's just where all the exhaust sort of spills out as they go around. So I'm going to try and weather that bit, although I'm not so good at weathering aircraft. I'll get there though. That's why I'm taking this one really slowly. I just want to try and make this one right.
Hey, slow and steady wins the race, man.
Yeah, I'll get there. I'm trying to film it all at the same time, so yeah, I'll get there.
Sweet.
How long do you think until you're going to be finished with it?
Probably a month.
That's not too bad.
Well, I say a month. There's going to be a month span, and then I'll probably get the whole thing done in a day.
Oh yeah. Have that one big creative
Love
surge.
when that happens.
Yeah, pretty much.
That one day off of work where you just model on all day.
One big pot of coffee.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. So yeah, that's my current work in progress.
Nice.
Speaking
Beautiful,
of coffee,
dude.
me and Greg are gonna have to go over to Canada, Dennis, to beat you up for drinking green tea.
Absolutely, bro.
No. It's not just green tea. It's turmeric, ginger, green tea. This stuff is
I
busted.
don't care.
That's even worse.
You know what else is going to be busting? That mouth of yours. You're drinking tea.
You British? No.
Okay, look. I drank a double last night. I am allowed to have one day of the week off where I enjoy some nice green tea.
And you choose to do it on podcast night.
Yes. There's a reason why I'm so tired. Dude, I mean, hey, speaking of coffee, doubles, I haven't had one of those for years. My God, it's just pure sugar.
Oh,
I
gosh.
couldn't taste any coffee.
That's disgusting.
PSA to all of our Canadian listeners: if you drink a double, you're a bitch. You can't drink real coffee, man.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay,
Could
so
be my hill to die on.
whose work in progress is up now?
That would be mine. So here we've got what I'm actually working on right now: the Tamiya R35 and the Battle for France diorama. Going from left to right, pictures on the left-hand side. I assembled all the infantry from the Tamiya French infantry set and got them kind of in their positions. Might be a little hard to see because of how small the picture is, but basically the storyline goes: the French are trying to push back the Germans in this town. They're on a T-intersection road. They're on the main stretch. They're just trying to pop that corner. So they got their security pulled down the main road while the
Nice.
dudes try to cross. And then got that French tanker. I was pretty happy with how he came out. First time using pigments. Vallejo pigments. I don't think I'll ever go back to regular dirt. I think that era of my life is over. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's looking very nice.
Appreciate it. It definitely looks more realistic compared to like that LAV I've got for that Afghan dio. Just the dirt to scale ratio is so much better with pigments.
Where'd you get that flare gun from?
That was the Tamiya German infantry weapon set.
Yeah, that's a nice addition, especially with it being right by
Yeah.
there by the commander.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I figured since the French didn't have radios in their little 35s, they need some kind of signal plan.
Yeah.
And they're in a town, so flag is really
It's definitely
like
a
the way
cool
to go.
touch.
Appreciate it. And the third picture, I was trying to display what the model looks like right now. Like I took that right when I updated the pictures this afternoon. Just dull down road and whatnot. And then the picture on the right is a tree, which I just finished, thank God. But yeah, that's my France work in progress. Appreciate it. And then yes, so second slide. Just to run through, top left is my layout for the modern Ukraine conflict. So I knocked out T-72, some Ukrainian troops I'm getting from AliExpress, and a destroyed European farmhouse from Wish. So we'll see if that.
I am in the middle of printing out your ERA bricks for that T-72, and the end laws are already done.
Perfect. I'm so stoked. I actually got the paint for that yesterday. Super stoked.
Ezra, how are you laying out your print for the ERA bricks? Are you doing it all as one big sheet, or are you doing
Yeah,
it
it says
as
one
like a
big
bunch
sheet,
of little
but I'll
sheets?
probably have to print like 3 of them.
Oh crap. Okay, that's what I did. I will just say, Greg, when you get it, basically try to cut the ERA bricks into like set strips of them. Basically, like you're probably going to get what, Ezra, maybe like 10
About.
lengthwise. Yeah. So basically, just try to cut it into strips where it's like 1 brick across and then 10 deep. Because when I printed mine, it's one big sheet. Basically, what you have is when you're removing the bricks, like you have to keep working your way around the supports, and then you just end up breaking a bunch of them. So yeah.
I do not want to break those.
How did you print
so
yours?
definitely.
Were they angled?
They were angled at like 25-ish degrees. Yeah. I think I used a setting of 4.5 seconds of the bottom exposure, and then it's like 20 seconds
Gotcha.
for the exposure time.
You got amateur numbers there.
Yeah.
I got mine cranked up to 50.
Yeah, dude, I don't know how the hell you're not just ripping your FEP film apart.
I don't know.
Y'all are speaking a foreign language.
Well, you just wait for until the end of this year, Greg, and then you're going to be just like the two of us.
That's true.
And then all it'll be left is Callum.
Yeah. I really want a printer. At the same time, I've got to pay a mortgage, so I'm kind of waiting for them to come down in price a little bit more.
Well, as you said, you have anything you want printed, I'll print it for you, and I'll get Ezra to
Like 10
paddle it
inches?
down.
How far can it be?
Yeah, you look at the map, I can cover it with my hand. It's no issue, man. It's just outside.
It's a quick little walk around the block.
Big step.
You can swing into Hawaii and grab a pineapple on his way.
Yeah.
So who's up next?
Oh crap. Oh god. Oh shit. It's me. Wow. Yeah. So the T55 project continues. These are some older photos I have where you can basically see I roughed up the road wheels and the tracks. As you can see, are all down here. All of these greenish bits are, of course, the 3D printed ERA, which is basically the same stuff that I think Ezra, you're going to be sending to.
Except mine's going to be opaque gray, so it's superior.
So matters not. It matters not because it's all going to get primed anyways.
How do you know?
Well, you just hold your horses. So I've been doing some 3D printing as well for 35th scale modern Canadian troops, complete with the C7s. And I've already picked up my next project after this, which will be the 48th scale full interior Panther A from Suyata with a very drippy brass barrel and Zimmer decals. So I was able to get all of this done basically in one night. So I put the mini art tracks together, which went together pretty well. I do have a big tip for anyone who's using like non-workable individual link tracks. Tamiya limiting cement. It's basically the cement that smells like a pina colada. Try that out. because it has a lot less acetone in it, which means that it takes a lot longer for like
Right.
it to actually properly cure and for the bond between the tracks to harden. So basically, you can assemble the entire track run, and by the time you've gotten all the big line, there's still enough play in the tracks that you can wrap them around the road wheels and the idler sprockets, and then actually push down the sag in them. And by the time you're done with
Nice.
that, they're done, right? So limiting cement, just the normal thick stuff, works amazingly for that. I primed this using brown Mr. Surfacer because it's a good rust tone. And then after that, basically all of this has been done with Mission Models paint, which is, yeah, most people know about it, but it's like an American brand, non-toxic, which is very nice. So we started off with a base coat of NATO Black, put some hairspray on it. Then I used basically this like seaweed sort of camouflage. And it's just basically Russian cockpit blue with American cockpit green. Yeah, I just did that. I've already started using some chipping on it, so you can see sort of around for instance, the handrails. You can see the primer showing through. And yeah, that's about that. Right now, it's kind of waiting until like later on in the summer. I actually get around to doing a diorama for it, so I can kind of get
Blue
unified
looks
weathering.
so
So
snazzy.
it's kind of. Oh yeah. Yeah,
I
it's
love
definitely
that
different.
one.
Yeah, the hand-painted one.
Yes, just love it.
I was going to airbrush that too. I basically just cut a stencil out of to be a masking tape. And I was like, it's 5 a.m. in the morning. I'm too lazy for this. So I just brush painted the mission models, and it worked really well.
It
Yeah.
just looks good too. Like you wanted this to be like a random tropical island tank, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not many resources and whatnot. So fuck it, slap a one on there with a paintbrush, call it good.
Yeah. So definitely you're going to see more of this. This is kind of on hold for the time being, just because most of it is done build-wise. But yeah, the plan is basically to have this driving through a mangrove or maybe on a sandbar. There will be water. There will be some earth tones. Lots more chipping though. And yeah, basically, aside from that, I am just filling gaps and ejector pin marks in my Panther. But that's what I've been up to.
I think I'm more excited for your 55 than I am my
Oh,
72.
this is me. I am back at work at my Shot Caldelet, and I took this picture, and I'm like, that looks pretty cool. Thought I could use its own slide. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Is that a 240 on the back?
So
Nice.
here's some pictures, and I literally took them like 15 minutes before I got on. So they're brand new. Just working on the dust and mud.
Dude, nice.
The tarps need to be repainted, so don't mind how they look. And the guns need to be finished. It's pretty close to being done.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Possibly.
You're gonna put that on
Yeah.
the diorama, Ezra?
We'll see. I might put it
Yeah.
on like a little hill. It's cresting over the top. No,
Is the,
sadly. It
suspension
would have to be
workable?
flat. A
Oh,
flat hillside.
yeah.
What kind of terrain you thinking about besides the hill? Like sandy or like a training exercise up in England or?
Yeah, probably like sandy with a bunch of rocks and little weeds. Trying to show the desert around Israel.
Very nice.
Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this one. Yes. My 1/100 M4 Sherman with concrete armor. I'm really happy with how it's turning out. Currently working on the mud effects using all pigments. It's a fun little change. That's a lot of chunkiness at such a small scale.
Yeah, that's a real contest killer you got there, Ezra.
I'm hoping someone's
Yeah.
Dude,
I'm hoping someone's gonna have their like super detailed I don't know, just any tank. And I get a better award than them. A little like 2-inch long Sherman. Exactly.
Well, hey, it's not the size that matters.
Exact.
It's what pigments you use.
At 9
Small
millimeter.
and mighty. That's what I say.
That's I'm ending the podcast on that note.
Watch this way. We have like 4 more slides to go, and my computer is at 27% point.
Better than 4.
You could just not
It was
charge it or
completely
anything.
charged. I went into my closet and poof, there's the battery.
He's got that
Actually,
Apple
no.
Mac experience.
Or walk out.
I mean, come on,
No.
is the mouse even really practical? Some would say there's a limit.
Not
Yeah,
according to
that,
Hitler.
Or
that
ditch.
limit is any bridge
Yes.
Tractor.
or road.
Or
Literally
train.
anything.
Didn't they put it on a railroad?
Yes, they did do that. The Soviets put that and the Sturm Tiger
That's
on
cool.
a rail car.
Oh,
head back
imagine
to,
if there was like a
Jamaica.
railroad track wide enough,
Nice.
it would just roll the mouse on the railroad track. It's one of those like armored trains. Oh, that'd be cool.
That'd be hilarious.
Point.
Yeah, until it got derailed.
Have you guys
Any
seen that
turn.
armored train in
Yeah.
Ukraine? The Russians have pulled out.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Getting some Mad Metro vibes.
Oh yeah, it's the Red Forest Express.
I guess you could move on to the next slide.
So, this was Jack's slide, but unfortunately, Jack is currently sitting at the bottom of Lake Skugog, meditating.
And once he's
as
out
he's
of
wont
there,
to
he's
do.
going straight to the gulag.
But yeah, so he's still working on his turbines. It's coming along really nicely. He's got the 3-inch Stewart turret on here, which is very nice. Very accurate.
100%. If you say otherwise, you're getting banned.
Yep. But yeah, he's doing what I think most of us would be afraid to do, and that is doing photo etch railings,
Sure.
and they're turning out really nicely.
God bless that man.
All those AA guns that he did.
Oh my god.
Oh god,
And
What was it, an hour a piece? Jesus.
yeah,
I couldn't.
that is something we need to use 3D printers for. Can you imagine just like getting a 4K printer and printing those
people are
instead
doing
of
that.
actually having
When
to
I did
be,
my
photo
1/350
etch?
scale USS Kid, I bought 3D
Yeah.
printed quad bovers, and they were amazing.
Probably more accurate than the photo etch, because the photo etch is just like a strip of metal,
Mhm.
but that actually has volume to it. So
Ah,
that is what he's working on. And Val, who is also AWOL,
yeah.
he's just been working on this stuff. We got some whatever the hell this hallucination is.
Fever
It's
dream.
awesome. Driving a straight line off of the LCT straight to Berlin. Don't stop for anything.
Just rearm those rockets. That's it.
Yeah.
No.
Gotta say, his mud effects are looking amazing on this 76 scale Churchill. He's got the grass in there and everything.
Small
I
boy.
will say he took my very mediocre print of the R35 and just made it look amazing with that chain. Yeah.
He did.
Got
He
the
did.
Some
ice
photo
on.
etch bling.
Now all you need to do is get like a giant
yes.
clock and put it on the end of that chain.
Drip.
Street
Young
cred.
Renault.
Those
Yeah.
chains look so good. Like they look weighed down.
He said they were
I want to know where
Edward
he actually
chains.
got those chains from.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah,
know what a
different
lot of
sizes.
people do is they twist them before they install them.
Yeah, same.
I'd be scared to break it.
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
Churchill is looking really good.
Yeah.
Like I keep looking at it and thinking, wow, that's pretty good for a 35 scale
Mhm.
model, and then I realize, oh crap, that's 76.
Yeah, that's. Oh, dude, mad respect for you guys for doing the smaller stuff because I've tried
Yeah.
doing 1/72 scale Tiger tank. That Panther just didn't work. I got to the base painting and that was it.
That was like how I joined the group build for the 1-100. It's like, oh, I'll give it a go, and I'm sitting there going, how the hell do you work on this thing? And then you see what Ezra does on 1-100. I'm sitting there like, oh, I'll stick
Dude,
to 35,
honestly.
thanks.
Yeah,
And then
honestly.
it's like me trying to paint faces in 1:100 scale.
Yeah,
I'm trying
you
to
with
do
your like
CAD
extra
pad
fine
camouflage.
sponge.
I still have to try that. I haven't actually
Jeez.
done it yet. I've just been painting it with a brush.
Is it?
And that is the end of the slideshow.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that went pretty well.
Do we have anything else we can chat about? Any
Well,
topics?
I'm pissed
I've got a
because I
question.
put in a little
Go for it.
banger slide like 20 minutes ago, but I guess it didn't show up. Ah,
Yeah,
I
I'm
was just
looking at
hoping
it
you're
right
just
now.
gonna randomly
Yeah, what is
skip on. Just
What is
no
the-
context.
As-
God
Oh,
damn it.
God's sake.
Ezra, what?
Oh.
Ezra, no. You little son of a bitch. You're
Why?
gonna get cancelled for this. I
Quick,
can't post this
delete
on
the slide.
YouTube.
Don't worry, I'm going to edit this one out. I'm going to
Cal,
edit this one out.
Cal,
Yeah,
I'm
that's,
gonna need you to put like a giant black bar right here.
oh yeah, yeah. I'm going to blank this and blur it out. And you young people are weird.
Oh,
No,
this
no,
was
no!
all
Don't
me.
group me in with
I was
this.
just
This is
sitting here
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
what I
no,
could
no,
do to spice
no.
this up. Anime.
You
Ezra-
spiced it up all right, let me
Oh.
tell you.
No,
See this? See that, Ezra? This is now confusing though, because you've posted
Oh, good
this
point.
just before you've just announced you're coming out the closet. I mean, come on.
Which is a
Which way are
It's
you?
all convenient.
Honestly,
Do we need to have
I'm
a chat?
really.
We can have
all
a
you
chat.
listeners, you get the exciting chance to listen to us
Jeez.
try to figure Ezra out.
I really hope my girlfriend doesn't hear this. I'm screwed.
I'm serious. I'm gonna actually have to. I'm gonna have to add this. Ezra,
You're
thank you for
welcome. I mean, I
making
knew
me
you would have
stay up
probably
until
stayed up
3 in
until
the
3
morning.
working on a model anyway. Oh, damn.
Nah, man, university.
Just
You and your
I'll
calculus.
I'll pick it
Yeah,
up
just-
and I can edit that out. This whole section is just like a blank zone.
You know what? I'm stopping the recording. Of
I already
the,
I
slides.
deleted the
This is going
slide.
to go straight audio.
Bye, Craig.
You can't do that.
Thank God.
Jeez. I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, that whole section's going to be gone.
Save that for a bloopers day.
Honestly,
Yeah.
like the one on the left
I
is
just
okay.
grabbed the
That's
first
passable.
pictures I saw when I looked
The
at
one
the
on the
Zoomed
right,
Panzer.
Ezra, I'm
Ugh.
curious. Like,
Uh,
what did
girls
you
doing
have to search up? Like, what did you put into the Google bar?
Jeez, I'll pull up my
I don't
search
believe
history.
that for even a second.
Wait, what'd you put in?
Oh
No,
yeah,
we don't want
you
to
know
see
what?
that.
You know what? Let me just change
God,
the
no, I
stream
didn't get
to
rid of like
whatever
half
you're
of my kit maker
showing
slide.
right
I
now.
mean, kit maker pages and t-shirt design. Looked up girls doing Panzer.
What'd you say you looked up, Ezra?
And this is why the
Never
anime
mind, I'm not
channel
looking that up.
was not a mistake.
I like
but
the
it was
original name for it.
It was a
ambiguous.
mistake. It was a
It was a
mistake.
mistake.
What?
It was
No,
a
no,
mistake.
No, that was not fun. You know what? The anime channel was not a mistake.
Good point.
Proselytizing was.
What's wrong with St.
I should have
Javelin?
nuked that.
And probably kept making moments.
Oh yeah,
It's the
Oh.
St. Javelin
I
to
just hit
Girls in
battery
Panzer
saver
pipeline.
mode. 18%.
So I'm going to try and salvage a little bit of discussion part of the podcast. So, Greg, saw you commented on one of my YouTube channels, one of my YouTube videos.
I did, yes.
The one that has the least amount of views is probably the worst one.
Sorry, that technique you used, man, was super nice.
Just using the paint chipping effect and whatnot.
Yes, I absolutely love that.
Yeah, because those were both using my dad's bloody roof painting concoction. Do you know how long it took me just to get that amount of bloody paint chipping and whatnot? Just scrubbing
Oh.
with hot water. It took
How
me
long?
an hour.
You're-
It took me an hour to do that because
You're kidding.
this roof paint is so freaking durable that the water would not go through it to activate it.
Did you see the screenshot from Amazon I sent you on Discord?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the stuff I got. I'm hoping I'm hoping it doesn't take me an hour. I'll do it because I really love the 38T, but I really hope it doesn't take an hour.
Oh no, it won't.
What paint are you going to be using to chip, Greg?
Well, the base coat will be the Tamiya flat hull red. Then the interior is going to be Tamiya white, and then it'll be Vallejo chipping medium. With
So you're playing the chipping medium between the red and the white.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe with Tamiya paints, that's what I was doing. So I used just hairspray on the T55, and then instead of water, I actually used the thinner, which is basically just isopropyl alcohol. I find that if you really want to get straight through the Tamiya paint, IPA or even hand sanitizer actually works really well.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll have to try it.
You can even mix a bit of it with water, and I find it just like
Cool.
just gives it a little bit more of an edge.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be a little bit before. God, there's so many things I want to work on. Like, I really want to do that 38T because it's a full interior and it's like my favorite light tank. But I have no reason to build it right now because the diorama, I have like 3 others in line before it. But God damn it, I want to build it.
Do it as a palate cleanser.
What is that called? Abstinence? I'll
abstain.
Remember kids, the only way not to get addicted to bottled cement is abstinence from modeling. Remember to be safe when you are modeling. Only take the parts off the sprues if they give you consent.
make sure you wear proper protection as well.
Oh, dude, I'm a safety guy. I could give you like an hours long talk about safety.
Meanwhile, I'm the guy who ends up accidentally getting high about 50% of the time I'm building something.
Yeah,
You're the reason we have safety briefs.
That'd be a fun segment to have, like the safety brief. It's just like you have a model related accident. It's like, no, here's what you don't do. Like with Callum. Callum looks at the Tamiya lacquer paint bottle, and it's got like 10,000 different warnings on it, all of which involve people's faces melting off. He's just like,
No gloves, no respirator, no nothing. Let's just close that door behind me. Yep, let's go. And that's honestly not even the worst stuff I've gotten here. Like,
what's the worst?
probably that stuff I mentioned in an earlier podcast
yeah.
that literally melts acrylic paint when it's dry.
Oh yeah.
That stuff is. I gotta find out the name of it just so you guys can find out what it is. It's deadly shit. I mean, it's good for cleaning out acrylic paint. Like, if you had the stuff where when you
Probably
got
sure it's also
AK'd,
good for
they would've
clearing
just
out your
cleaned it
brain
right out.
cells.
No,
Probably.
Ezra, that just steadies the hand. Okay, it steadies the hand.
I have to say,
He is
for the first
lacquer.
time, I bought Mr. Leveling Thinner, and I took a whiff of it to see how bad it was. And God, that stuff is strong.
If you join the Discord, you will find out that I have changed my profile picture to me wearing a P100 chemical respirator.
Yes.
Yes, we're going to have to do the safety brief because you guys are basically just smelling pure brain cancer in a bottle. Yeah.
What's going to happen to us in like 20, 30 years? We go to the doctor for a checkup. And he's like, hey, yo, you've got brain cancer, bro. It's like damn,
my
really?
I'd be like, oh, fuck, I got Walter Whited.
Like,
My
oh, I
G,
got
you
a
have
stash of
brain
that thing.
cancer, guys. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. They don't test. This stuff is not meant for human consumption.
That is true.
So shout out to Mission Models Paint. It's still not 100%
Making an
safe, but
effort.
it is non-toxic acrylic. So God bless America. God bless freedom, capitalism, cheeseburgers, all that. Thank you, Mission Models, the Micro Machines podcast.
Hell yeah.
Safety brief salutes you.
Yes.
Now give
Any
me my
other
money.
Any other subjects? Any other discussions? Any news from anyone?
Oh.
I could probably mention that Commies Fest thing, but if you guys got anything else?
Got my my final course scheduled here in about 2 weeks to do the final course so I can start that skill bridge move.
Hell yeah,
Start
man.
Super exciting.
Get hyped. You're gonna have to make a vlog of that.
Walk into class, a bunch of dudes and chicks like, hey guys, back with another video today. It's like 6 a.m.
Remember to smash that subscribe button.
Oh god.
Check the little notification bell.
Every time I hear that, my brain just dies a little bit more inside.
Dude, I make it a point to not say shit like that in my videos.
That's okay. I will.
If you want to subscribe, by
beg
all
you to
means, go
do
right
it.
on ahead.
Yeah.
If you don't, that's fine too. Like, I'm just here to. Exactly.
Well, they won't, but I will. If you like Micro Machines podcast, smash that motherfucking subscribe button. Take that like button and punt that little bitch right into the stratosphere. If we can get to 10 likes,
No,
Oh,
I will
God.
literally delete
no,
the
this is the
Discord.
most entertaining server.
No,
I've been in
you
a while.
won't. No, you won't. No.
No,
Yeah.
no. You know, if seriously, though, if we get to 10 likes, I will let Ezra post uncensored version of this podcast.
I don't know if that's. No.
We're
No.
gonna have to make like a
Oh.
separate YouTube channel. We're
Alright.
just like, how long is it before we get banned?
Dude, that's actually a good idea.
I mean, I think
It's
we
gonna be like the
if we
quarantine
just cover
channel.
the
Yeah.
pictures
I've
with
actually
the
got
black
easy.
squares, we should be fine. Just leave like a little. Yeah, just leave a little bit of it
No, cover it
showing
with
so
a
people
picture of a
know what
tank.
we're talking about.
See,
I-
I've actually got a bet with one of my workmates at the moment for my YouTube channel, and that is if I get, I think it was about 50,000 subscribers, I have to get my my logo tattooed somewhere on me.
Okay, guys, all 17 subscribers of you, go and smash that subscribe button for
You know what? Fuck it. If we get
Club
50,000 on, if we get 50,000
Same
for
here.
MMP, I'll get the MMP tattooed somewhere.
I'll get an MMP face tattoo.
He's
I'll get another
No, no,
T-shirt
no.
with MMP on it.
Instagram account has like 23 followers, right? I have an Instagram.
Yo, we got an Instagram?
Oh yeah,
Look up Micro Machines podcast
Hold
on
on.
Instagram, and it'll be there.
Wait a damn minute. Micro.
This is the level of coordination we have.
Machines.
We don't even know half
Podcast.
the social media accounts.
we have the same level of coordination as the Russian Army logistics.
We're not getting ambushed.
We probably have better if we're being honest here, but
I mean, that is true.
Yeah, we're making it work.
We're a
Oh,
group
we
of
got an
models.
Instagram.
Favorite subjects: 1-to-1 armor and models, and smashing it into a podcast of stupid jokes and silly memes. I fuck
You have
with it.
no idea how long it took me to
Smash
edit
that subscribe button.
our description
Oh, God.
down to 150 letters. Oh yes.
Oh,
dude,
and we also have a Twitter now.
I hate Twitter.
I hate Twitter, but the good thing is we're not going to be on Twitter for long because even what we say will get cancelled.
You know what?
Yeah.
Should I just like start posting random shit posts from our shit
No,
post channel
post
and just see
that song.
how long it takes for us to get banned?
To link to that song.
Do
I
it.
sent.
No, I don't want to. Ezra, this is not a speed run, okay?
Be edging over here to see how quick we can get canceled.
Why not? We can make this run. Oh, what was the conclusion with those hoodies and coffee mugs and stuff?
The hoodies need a little more work, but the sad thing is we'll need to buy, I think, 48 of them. We don't even have 48 subscribers. So
God damn it. Yo, what if, right? What if?
6.
Let's see. How many of there?
5.
How many of us are there?
Yeah, currently 4 today.
6. Okay.
4.
Well, but who come on the podcast in total is 6, right?
Yes.
If we our first 44 subscribers that aren't either ourselves, right, from
Or our
other channels,
moms.
or our moms, or whoever, right? Girlfriends, wives, animals, whatnot, you get a free hoodie.
It can't be a free hoodie because it's gonna probably cost like $200.
Free hoodie.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, donate to the
Sure.
Patreon.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
actually do
if we
have to
keep
set
up
a
this
Patreon.
level of bad comedy, I think we'll be pretty good.
See, we just have to do one shitty podcast per week, and yeah, just keep that going. Minimum subscription tier is $100,000 per year.
Jesus.
We just need one of you to do that. Bite the bullet. Take one from the team, and
Hey, lead from the front.
we will be then live streaming to
Trying
you
to-
from
Yeah,
Hawaii.
we will live stream from our private
Waiting on our
Learjet.
plane.
We were just like live streaming from an AA7V, just like driving around the coast of Hawaii.
Like, hey guys, we're back with another update. We still haven't left the island yet. I don't know why. something with a flight or something.
Oh,
Totally not us spending your money you gave us on dumb shit.
And there's just
oh
Ezra
damn! You
with
should have seen how many I drunk when I went on
200
the cruise.
pina coladas.
Hey, yo, this guy drinks.
Virgin, don't worry.
I was about to say,
Jeez.
you're gonna have like you're gonna have
Oh, I don't need
you're gonna have
that.
tier C police just knocking on your
Or like
door in
one
5
police
minutes.
car.
You're going to be the call they respond about.
Ezra, please.
Oh, that was don't worry, officer. That was they were
Virgin drink.
virgin, and it was like 3-4 months ago.
Any other news?
I'd say the only thing would be if you guys heard about what happened at
They're commies.
Commies Fest.
What happened in Commies Fest?
So apparently someone entered in a whole bunch of models under his name, but he didn't build. And one of them, he won best in show, or like a really high award for I think it was a Warhammer figure. Actually, a lot of people started noticing they recognized it, and thanks to the power of the internet, they actually found out that it was I won't say the name, it was a prominent Warhammer figure painter had painted this figure
Oh,
and then
it's such
sold
a
it to the
dirtbag
person
move.
who then put it into Commies Fest under his own name.
It's sketchy.
And he won a prize on it. Yeah.
I mean, it makes you wonder, does this person not realize that we were all so collectively obsessive that we can just identify who made a model just by looking at it?
Yeah. Yeah. You can look at something and go, oh, I know exactly who would have made that one. Like, if you can tell it's got a sort of mediocre sort of finish to it, then you can tell it's mine.
If it's covered in United Nations and Canadian flags, it's probably mine.
But yeah, that's my only bit of news.
Did a podcast.
Well, I think we did a podcast.
I think we did. It's
I
my
am
third one.
Oh, I don't want to record a
praying to
third time.
Craig
God damn
that
it.
he recorded this audio.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please let the audio be good. I spent 2 hours trying to save the last one, and nothing happened.
Yeah, you know what? Don't even worry. If this one isn't good,
You were on a
we'll
roll
just say,
today.
episode 4 is cursed.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll release it I'll release it calling it cursed. Listen at own peril.
You're going to get that one guy that's like, why is the audio so messed up? Read the
Yeah, we
title, douchebag.
Because we're the Micro Machines podcast.
I think our
If you
next
listen closely,
episode,
you'll hear
we
us.
should do it on something inherently cool.
Oh man,
RAM and its derivatives. I will try to find
yes.
Sounds
anime
good.
versions.
Canadian fan fiction.
You guys can make the slides this time.
Dude, Ezra, I will literally kick
No.
you out. I swear to God, if I find out there's another slide.
You're going to get crucified not only by the rest of MNP, but
Well,
by
there
our
we go.
entire
I accomplished
audience,
my goal.
our
I got a death
17
threat out by the
subscribers.
end of the episode.
Dennis, just block Ezra
Oh,
from
please,
every single
no.
Discord except for the anime one. That's the only one he can be in.
I have had girls break up with me because I don't watch anime. God damn it.
Uh,
Good.
Thank you. I appreciate that little tidbit.
We're finding out so
Oh,
much about
fuck.
Ezra today.
We
You know,
are
Ezra, that explains a
100%
lot.
battery.
Okay then. So we
Yeah.
should probably end this.
I'm nuking the recording.
Well, we should probably mention
yes.
our, Jack, Val, all the Discord and all that. So
Discord
do
will
ha-
be in the description. The link to join it. Very simple and easy to
Aptly
join if you
named.
haven't done Discord before. It's a fun server. Lots of bottle talk. Yes.
Yep.
There will be links to all of our social media accounts. So if you want to see our individual work, you can do that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You get
join
called
the
a
Kid
damn
Making
commie.
Network forums, and
Yeah.
yes,
Right,
look
see
at
ya.
the pictures of BMPs. All right,
Bye.
I'm ending. Bye, everybody.